First of all, I'd like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to talk about the London International Quilt Festival. Usually when I talk to an audience, it's usually a bunch of quilters. So now I'm talking to people who might not understand what quilt is. And that usually means it's usually something they think that their grandmother or their great aunt has done. Might that be true? It can be historical, the quilts and fiber arts have changed so much over the last 20 to 25 years and become wonderful works of art. As you can see by the slides, all these slides were built from previous exhibits that we've had. Some from Russia, some from Hawaii, some from Africa, some from Ireland, some from Cheese Bend, Alabama. So please enjoy the slides. I'm just going to talk so they don't really have any correlation to what I'm going to say. I'm going to speak about the opportunities that quilting has brought. So I'm going to use some examples. Examples I'm going to use are exhibits that they've had around the world. The first one I'm going to mention is Houston. Houston, Texas started a quilt exhibit, I believe it's 39 years ago in the quilt shop. It has now turned into be the biggest single annual event. It's held in Houston once a year, drawing in over a 4-day period over 60,000 people. People come from all over the world to see these wonderful works of art, and the exhibit itself, as I say, draws in over 60,000 people. There's also a little town called Paducah, Kentucky. Paducah, Kentucky was a dying little town in Kentucky that started a little quilt show on the second floor of one of the buildings. Now, 27 years later, they hold a 4-day annual event that brings in over 40,000 people and brings in $18 million to the local economy. It was so successful that the American Quilting Museum moved to Paducah, Kentucky, as there on a permanent basis, along with quite a few small and large quilting businesses that stay there on a permanent basis. Matter of fact, the American Quilting Museum has now become the single biggest tourist attraction in the city of Paducah. So it has transformed that city. Now, on an international scale, we could always go to Tokyo. Tokyo has a 9-day exhibit. And their exhibit brings into Tokyo 300,000 people view that exhibit over that 9-day period. Birmingham, England started a quilt festival, and the quilt festival is 9 years old. It lasts for 4 days and brings 168,000 people to come and view the quilts. As I said before, as you can see from these wonderful works of art, they have become just that, wonderful works of art. And some of the exhibits that you would enter into now, they put a quilt in it, and if you decide you want to enter your quilt, they are allowed to buy that. So your first prize would be $12,000. So a lot of these quilts now have become in collections, and they're made by people that are real artists out from Africa. It's just gorgeous. We decided when we first initially would do this, that we would bring in quilts from one country. We wanted to bring the quilts and the culture because it was so important to understand the culture in a different way. So we had the opportunity to bring quilts from Russia, and when that happened, 28 quilts came from Russia. And of the 28 quilters, only 2 spoke English. The beauty of from a cultural point of view is, when it comes to the city of London, there's a spin-off where all the other cultural activities that go on, they join together. The people that come here from all across Canada and that come from Europe and Africa and Russia and Tahiti, they bring their culture and then they learn from us about our culture. It's such a beautiful exhibit that we do have out from Hawaii that you really get an opportunity to learn. So I've been to many schools. We have a quilt that we got on stewardship called the Unity Quilt that would tell you what you would do for conflict resolution in countries in Africa, because the ladies have to get together and make this quilt. They make this quilt so they all get along so they can learn how to quilt and sew so they can take it back to the village. This came to us, and we still have it. It's been to conflict resolution conferences. I've had it at many schools, so many teachers in Europe are glad to lend it. Because with bullying and everything like that, it just shows what you can do for conflict resolution. In Kenya, Rwanda, Rwanda, the quilters came. A small little story, one of the quilters from Africa is still getting free lunches because she's able to go back and go into the village and tell people that she went to Canada. They want to hear all about it, so they invite her over for dinner and lunch and different things. It's really been quite unique. That was Ireland. So we're very excited to have this happen in London. It's quite an undertaking because we're just two people in a small business. We are going to be having it in 2013, and it's going to be out of Africa. Africa being a continent, it's going to be quilts and quilters from all over. I think it's a golden opportunity for a city to have culture come and then share their culture with the people that do come. And as I've said, in the numbers alone, we can get those numbers. We might not be able to get 300,000 because that's quite a bit. But we have 8 million people between Toronto and Windsor, not counting our border friends. That we have an opportunity to then bring the culture to London, Ontario, and then share the culture. So what I'm hoping with it is to stop. Good. I'm glad to see that club. Thank you very much for your time.